Sometimes you will want code to run on a scheduled basis. For example, you might want to run a backup program daily. Ideally, this should be done with a separate program on the web server. But this won't always be an option when using shared web hosting. In this lesson, you will create a scheduled event by using the timer class. To begin, open the .NET Expert project from your sample files folder. And open global.asax. Global.asax acts as a built-in HTTP module. You learned about HTTP modules in Lesson 8.8. Any code placed in the application start event handler will run whenever the application is started by the web server. First, you'll need to add some using lines to the top of the code. Add the line using system.threading. You're going to use the system.threading.timer class to create your scheduled event. Note that this is not the same as the timer control which you worked with in Lesson 9.5. Next, add another using line with the code using system.diagnostics. You are going to need this namespace to run the backup utility using the system.diagnostics.process class. Next, you're going to add a new static method that will run the backup utility. Add the following new method to global.asax. Static void run backup object sender string program path equals HTTP context sender dot server dot map path tilde / backup database dot bat. Process dot start program path. This code is almost identical to the code that you wrote in Lesson 12.3. When it is called, this method will run backupdatabase.bat. You will notice that this method uses the object sender argument. This is because it is going to be used as a delegate method by the timer class. You learned about delegate methods in Lesson 4.10. Next, you'll need to add a new static timer object. To do this, add the following code outside any event handlers. Static timer backup timer. Finally, add the following code to the application start event handler. Backup timer equals new timer callback run backup HTTP context dot current 0 86,400,000. This code creates and starts your new timer. This timer object will call the runBackup every 24 hours. That's 86,400,000 milliseconds. The timer class is very similar to the thread class which you worked with in Lesson 3.6. Now, for testing purposes, change the interval of your timer from 86,400,000 to 60,000. This will run the backup utility every minute instead of every 24 hours. Now test your code by clicking Debug, Start Debugging. Backupdatabase.bat is executed and appears on your screen. Press any key to close backupdatabase.bat and then wait for 1 minute. After 1 minute, backupdatabase.bat appears again. This will continue every minute until the application stops. Close your web browser now. And before ending this lesson, change the timer interval back to 86,400,000. While you shouldn't have any problems using the system.threading.timer class, it isn't an ideal way to schedule tasks on your web server. If you have direct access to the web server, you can use the Scheduled Tasks feature of Windows instead. This is a better solution as it is easy to see which tasks are scheduled. With the system.threading.timer class, it is impossible to tell that a task is scheduled without looking at the source code of the application. Close Visual Studio now, saving your changes if prompted. You've now completed Lesson 12.4. Create a scheduled event using a timer object.